Hello, it's Monday. Welcome to Spurs Kings TV. It is me, Marlon, and it is the boy Ashmatic. Here we go again.
Different day, same old Spurs, man. Jeez. But before we begin the show, big up to the two people that were waiting to watch the show, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy. That was
Bless
time,
you.
man.
Yeah. And whoever you are, let us know because I want to show some love to these people, man. At least you're here supporting us still. Probably rival fans than us.
Yeah, true. Yeah, no, not luck. Yeah. Boy.
Right, let's just get into it. Let's bring out the main man who's here every week with us. Are you well?
Yeah, I'm good. You guys are good too.
Mate.
Went to Fulham.
Next question.
Really good match. Pitch side views and stuff.
Hey Ash, this guy pretends like he doesn't watch the games, yeah, but yesterday he was messaging me during the game.
Oh yeah, I was watching it. Oh yeah, I do. I watch all the games. I watch every single game. I don't be feel like Thursday, like after work on Thursdays I go to the gym, but I make sure that if they start at 8, I'm home by 8. I have to watch all the games. Like
now you do. Now you're on here, you do.
Yeah, that's exactly.
You can't come off conversation.
Yeah.
Mr. Spurs himself.
Yeah. So I watch all the games. It would be pointless in me talking about highlights, and I need to. And it was good. I didn't know you were there. That's what I was texting you. I didn't know you were there. So yeah, and I was like, oh, interesting, good. You get to see that masterclass.
We got the gold vision, man. We got the Ali Gold perspective. So
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, right there. See it first time.
Wait,
Wake up.
Listen, the way the fight.
We're going down.
The fans. Oh my days. The fans breaking out. People were like, take out. One man turned around and said, What good has that done? Yeah? What good has that done? Oh, jeez. Listen, we can't win.
Because the thing is, because I heard, obviously the TV won't show that, but also I thought the fans were good. Like they were trying to support the players, but then the players just went.
It's a difficult one. It is a difficult one, and we'll probably get more into it in the show because you're right. The fans were good yesterday.
Yeah, for a certain point,
but to a certain point,
yeah,
and that I think that's key. And I think the subs, if it wasn't for the 2 subs, I think that's what brought the fans back on side because Tell kind of did change the game. Out of the 2, which don't get me wrong, Richarlison was all right, but Tell kind of brought everyone back on side. But there's a bit about Xavi that we'll talk about as well.
Yeah,
I know. Just need to get on. But yeah, let's bring out the guests because we've got 2 debutants. Like 2. That's how things are. That's how you know we're in crisis when we've got 2 debutants. But big up to George himself. George, you well?
I'm surviving. I don't know if "well" is the right word, but no, I'm happy to be here because I think it's been well overdue. But yeah, we got so much to talk about.
So I've only had one game. We got so much to get on with.
I know. But yeah, other than that, I'm well. Hope you guys are well as well, and anyone that's going to be in the chat as well. We got a lot to dissect.
And then big up to another debutant. He went viral for the wrong reasons with Stell about how many years ago was it, Ash? Do you remember?
I can't remember that.
And they got super chatted.
The transfer.
Yeah, the transfer. But he's still here. He's still surviving, and he's still, things pass on. But a big up to Matt. You well? Oh, can you hear us?
Am I here?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. The delay, he's
How you doing? Can you see me?
Yeah, we can see you.
He's slightly delayed though.
Am I frozen?
Yeah.
You are now.
Spurs
defense 5 minutes in, yeah?
Thanks for the invite, and it's a pleasure to with YouTube royalty. So thanks for the invite, guys. Thanks for the invite.
Big up, man.
All right.
Don't know if you have to log out and log back in though.
Yeah, you have to log out and log back. It's slightly delayed.
It's mad.
Straight into it. Ash, we were there.
Can you still hear me?
Yeah, you just have to log in and log out again. It's just as a delay.
Yes.
I don't know if you heard that.
Yeah,
no.
You heard it now. But yeah, talk to us. Go on. Where do you want to start?
I want to start on Igor. Listen, Tudor beheading. You know what I'm saying? The narrative was that he would be beheading people. We were talking about back threes. All of a sudden, he's playing with back fours. He hasn't played with a back four before until, obviously, I think he played once or twice in other leagues. But yeah, it's a question I want to ask because, you know, if you're a man known for playing back threes and the board knew that, yeah, especially the board knew that you were a man to play back threes, and all of a sudden you've gone against your principles and play the back four. Balance. I mean, and then on top of it, the comments afterwards. Listen, there's so much to unpack. I don't even know where to begin. My head's all over the place. I'm like scrambled egg. But yeah, I just Xavi.
So you're not feeling Tudor is what I'm getting after 2 games.
Do you know what? It's. I'm trying to understand the difference between him and Frank. I'm really struggling right now. I'm looking at it and I'm like, we brought in a manager to do something different, and I'm seeing the same kind of things, if that makes sense. I can't see the difference, if I'm being totally honest. So that's where I'm scratching my head. And I know a lot of people are looking at the players sideways and are like, what are the players doing? Like, it doesn't matter what manager you're going to put in because you're going to get the same result with these players. And I hear it to some extent because we'll probably get into the body language a little bit later.
He said, so Tudor said that the players have bad habits that he has to get out of them. And unfortunately, that means he ain't going to get them out in 2 weeks.
He hasn't got time. He hasn't got time.
But this is the problem. This is why everyone said that Frank should have probably been sacked earlier.
Yeah, but the thing is, I'm looking at it now, and I'm like, would he have made that difference? I don't know. I'm looking like, maybe we pressed a little bit more violently. But apart from that, I can't really see, like, the way we're trying to go direct. Vicario's got the ball. Sometimes he's trying to play out from the back. It stinks. Sometimes he's trying to go long. It's even smellier. So I'm thinking, wait, didn't Frank try that? Do you know what I mean? And so you can't really. And the funny thing is, he's had 2 weeks on the pitch with them. 2 whole weeks. I'm not saying like, that's a pre-season. I'm not saying that. But I remember there was a clip of all of them running. Everyone's running. Everyone was like, yeah, he's getting them running. Like, you know, he's going to get them pressing and working. And everyone's getting excited and said, yeah, this is different. Now, I said, Marlon, look, wait, I'm not going to, you know, get onto him right away because Arsenal.
Are you not right?
No. Arsenal, innit? Let's not talk. I don't want to get into Arsenal. So I said, I'm not going to judge the team on an Arsenal performance. Like, I'm going to give that a bly. I said, Fulham for me is the real test. Fulham is where I can see who's with it, who's not. Has he got into their heads? Has he got into their minds? And for me, I'm not sure this old school tactic is working. Bad cop, good cop, no cop. I don't think any cop's working for these guys. Because we said it before, man. This is like Gotham. And the asylum is they're pulling rank. There's certain players, they're moving like divas. And he said in his comments, we've got big problems. Problems I can't talk about in front of you guys. Basically, I'm paraphrasing. That's what I was getting at. So I'm like, boy, do you know what? If he's coming out and saying that, and I said the problem, I didn't know if he was talking about the board. Because the way he said it as well, I was like, he kind of left it a bit ambiguous. So I don't know, man. But the actual football itself, I'm talking about we thought it was a 4-3-3 when we first saw it. But then I looked at it back. It looked like a 4-4-2. Either way, the space I saw when I was at the ground, you could have put your whole house, a backyard, and a mortgage. Like you could have put a whole tram lane inside that little space that they had. Like there was no left-hand space when we were watching it. Archie Gray, Xavi, bro, like there was just nothing on the left. Nothing. It was just completely empty and open. Everything was going down the right, but then we had no Right, it was weird. There was no wingers, there was no wingers on the play on the pitch, and everyone was like, when Poro comes back, it's gonna look different. We're gonna have a progressive passer, and we're gonna be able to pass it up the pitch. But I saw none of that, bro. I didn't even see him getting up and down like everyone thought he would be doing under this manager. All of a sudden, they think these players are gonna just transform and whip crosses into. I just didn't see it, and there were so many players that were missing in that first half. I don't know, man. Like the chances they created, the way they cut us open, bro, it could have been a lot more than the scoreline indicated. That scoreline indicated that you would have thought there's a lot more in this game. And if it wasn't, and you know what it is for me? This is my last point because I'm talking way too much. Like I feel like I'm ranting, bro. It's open monologue. I need to let the guests have a talk. But I feel like, no, wait, let me land. I feel like that push on Dragoshin has masked a whole heap of problems. It's masked a whole bag of problems. And problems that have been there from before. Like everyone's talking about Ekatike and all that. You know, look, it is what it is. I'm not gonna lie. When we talk about the PGMO and all that,
I will talk about the pitch because I think a lot of people are not making a big deal out of it. But for a mentally fragile team, you can't have that in the first 5 minutes. No matter how people want to look at it, you can't have, especially with Spurs right now, for a decision to go against you within the first 5 minutes like that, and then for us to go, they're going to pick that. As soon as that happened, that was it. Game's gone.
I hear it. But do you know what? Before that happened, and I don't want to. I want to guess this talk. But before that happened, the way they opened us up to get to that point was crazy.
But the cross, to be fair, because I watched the cross again, because I went and watched, because obviously I didn't get to watch it at the time, but I went and watched the cross again. The cross is just the ball into the box. Most people will allow that to go in the box. But as soon as Dragoshin gets pushed, okay, and a lot of people say it's this, it's that, it's this, it's that. But I'm sorry, I've never known anybody to put two hands on their back and get away with it, apart from Hugo did a couple of weeks ago. It was weird. So when Hugo got away with it, I kind of understood it. That I didn't. I still don't get. And I've had a referee explain it to me, and he said it's soft. But for me, it's a foul no matter what. And I said it when we were doing the watch along.
Yeah,
you said I said as soon as you put two hands on someone's back, it's a foul no matter what day and age it's in. And for me, what I didn't get, that's probably the most consistent decision I always see week in, week out with referees, whether it's inside or outside the box. And it's just weird that 3 incidents this season that have involved us.
Conspiracy! Guys, don't take over, man. Listen.
But getting back to it, and I know what you're saying, masking over the first 5 minutes, and I will get to the guests in a second. But if that goes against you within the first 5 minutes and a decision like that, and they were, you could tell they were proper, they thought it was going to get disallowed.
All right, so Bob,
mentally it's gone.
I hear you, and I'm with you, my brother. Spurs brother to Spurs brother. We're having therapy right now. This is what we're doing.
I know.
I get it, bro. I'm there. We were at the ground. You said it to me. If look, they will chalk it off Ash. They're going to chalk. Trust me. Yeah. We saw what happened last week. If they don't allow this, they want Spurs to get relegated. I'm telling you. The exact words to me. I hear it. But what I'm saying is, look, I want a response. That's my thing. But
you're not gonna. Look, we'll get to the guests in a second. But you're not gonna get a response. You're never gonna get a response.
For now, hold it.
You could tell we never spoke to each other after the game yesterday.
You went in silence.
Silent.
They're just like
it's a long move to that part,
George. Let me get to George. George, Igor Tudor, 2 weeks in. Where are you at?
Yeah, look, to be honest with you, I don't think any of us knew much about him before we came in. I tried to do as much research as possible when it was announced to see what his football is, what he's like. And I think my main takeaway is that his tactics are just bang average, but he's a complete motivator. And that's what he's done in other clubs. So I think my hopes was more resting on the fact that he's going to, kick something up the players' asses to sort of get them playing again and believing that they can win. But yeah, I did like a full sort of deep dive analysis into his first game in charge of Juventus, just to sort of see like what's going to change, how things are different. And I think this really shows the difference between the two leagues, because the big red flags that kept on popping up throughout that video or that game when I was watching it was he just loves a man-to-man press. I think whatever formation he starts with, it all goes kind of out the window because it's just all about you're marking your player, you've got to follow him wherever. And I think we saw that against Fulham. Gray was starting at left back and he followed whoever it was all the way to right wing. And like you said, he just left acres of space. And I think the problem is, if you're going to adopt a man-to-man press like that, you have to be literally touching the other person the whole time so that they don't get any time on the ball. I think if you don't commit to it, it leaves too much space. And in that first game where he was in charge of Juventus against Genoa, I believe it was, Genoa had a lot of chances in the middle because everyone was getting dragged left and right. And I think where the Premier League's a different beast is that I feel like players are a lot more physical. I feel like they were a lot more active than some other leagues. Serie A especially is so much slower than the Premier League, and they will punish you. And I saw Iwobi was dragging a player left. I saw Smith Rowe was dragging one of our players to the right, and it just left a huge gap. And both the goals came from that. If you look at a screenshot of the cross before it came in, before the Dragson incident, and then the second one, when Solanke was in like a number 8 position, Solanke and Colomawani were closer to our goal than Paulinho and Basuma. And I don't think that should ever be the case. So I worry about his football, man. I really do, because it just seems a little bit, it's a bit naive if the player, yeah, there you go. That's like how you just been opened up from one pass from their left-hand side to ours. And you got players in just awkward positions. And it was just so easy to get a ball in there. And I think the Premier League will punish you. And I think if the players aren't fully committed to basically being up the opposition backside and following them everywhere, it's going to cause us a whirlwind of trouble every game.
Look how much space, look how much, oh, I don't even want to get into it, but because he was talking about it, I said, look, the space was crazy. And look, before I go further, it's because Xavi was, for some reason, he decided to go next to Gallagher, innit?
Mm-hmm.
And so that left Paulinho as the left-sided midfielder on this side. I don't know if you lot can see it, but basically, that's where the gap happened. There was so much space. And this is what I'm saying. That amount of space left to a Fulham player is crazy.
Yeah, but everyone said last week we should have played 4. And I said both systems are not going to work.
I just find it mad that we finally got a wing back in Porro and he chose to go back 4 at that point. Well, at least stick with your 3 for one more game.
I was confused, yeah. I can admit.
And this is before the push. This is what I'm saying. This is before the push. This is what I'm talking about. So anyway.
But Dragusin wins that. If he doesn't get pushed, Dragusin wins that.
The point I'm making is that I hear you, right? You're right. Dragusin, and that doesn't go in. I hear it. But the point I'm making was that it's just that space opening up, and our team being.
But for me, just go back to that picture. Just quickly go back to that picture for a second.
Which one?
The one before, the one where you showed this one, yeah. So for me, in this situation, So the bit before it, yeah. So go with the one that's got the arrow.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
So a lot of people look at that and go, okay, but I'm looking at that situation now because he hasn't crossed the ball yet, he's about to. In that situation, they're a bank of 4 and Basuma's there. For me, if you're going to swing in across for there, I'm sitting there going, swing across in from there because I'm going to rely on my 2 defenders to head the ball. In that situation, the bit before it, yes, they're lopsided bit. There's no danger. If he swings in across from there, you're not expecting there to be any danger. You're expecting Jimenez to try and win the ball. But Dragusin is very good in the air. So they're probably going to say, just swing it in. Because it happened a lot against Arsenal in the first half last week. And who was winning those balls in the air? It was Dragusin.
But do you know what's mad? Dragusin's positioning for both goals is awful compared to the rest of the back line. Yeah. Like you can even see it in that image, and I assume you've got the screenshot of the other one we talk about in a sec. But look how much deeper he is compared to the rest of the back line.
But
the exact same thing happens in the second goal, and he's miles deeper than the rest of them.
So he anticipates the cross, and to be fair to him in that situation, he anticipates the cross, and he's in the right position. The problem is, and people will sit there and say whatever that, because Dragusin's not the main guy now. If that was Van der Ven, I tell you now, this conversation's different. The conversation will be completely different.
Racism, yeah? Romanian.
No.
It's because
Matthew, let's hear what Matthew has to say. Get Matthew in.
Go, Matthew. Sorry.
Yeah, let's get Matthew in.
Romanianism.
Let me take this off anyway. So
Marlon taking over.
I just think, and I've got nothing against Tudor. I had nothing against Frank. I had nothing against Ange. But I think we're in such a short sample size of his reign. I think they look all over the place. We look all over the place, and that's the worry for me, because the fact that he's been there for 2 weeks and positionally we looked like we had 10 men at times. They could just pass the ball sideways from left to right, from right to left, and we wasn't 5 or 10 yards close to our opponent. It always seemed like we had to make this 20-yard run to get over to whoever was receiving the ball. Our positions just looked so unprofessional, and that's the worry, that these are professionals, had a full week of coaching, and it looked like, it obviously hasn't happened, but it looks like they've just been assembled. They just didn't look any sequence, no patterns of play. Look so easy to play through, so easy to play against. If you look at the chances that were created and the goals we conceded, this isn't a man beating one of our men and you go, hey, that's a great bit of individual skill. This seemed to be 2 or 3 passes and they're through. And that's the worry for me, that yes, we're looking at the West Ham results and we're looking at the Nottingham Forest results, but they look more in sync. And even though they're on a bad run, both teams, they're showing something. We look absolutely strangers. That's my worry. And one game can change everything. I understand that, and we can somehow put a performance or get a result against Crystal Palace. But I don't see us stringing 3 passes together. Came on and injected a bit of urgency. Richarlison done his normal shithousery or whatever you want to call it. But we're more than that. Tottenham are more than that, surely. So I'm genuinely worried. I think I can safely say I'm the only person that remembers Spurs getting relegated in the 70s. I'm old enough to remember that, sadly, guys. So I'm genuinely worried. I'm genuinely worried.
Oren?
Tudor. Remember the questions about Tudor?
Yes, no, I know.
No, yeah. You answered it, Matt.
I played for it at the back, and I did say, like, if Spurs played for it at the back, I think we're winning. But then, because remember, I was texting Marlon, and it looked like it was 3 at the back. And I was like, you sure it's not 3 at the back? And he's like, nope, it's 4 at the back. But again, what I saw was, I was like, okay, so that means that Conor Gallagher is a right winger, which he's never played before. Xavi's a left, which if any of the coaches had any mouthpiece would go, Frank tried that, it didn't work. He's ineffective. And last video, I did say, you know, because it was me and Marlon going back and forth a little bit, and I said, play 4 at the back, diamond, 2 up top. Play in the middle. You don't play with wingers anyway. You don't have wingers. So that means that Palini can get the ball. He has Conor Gallagher or Basuma to pass it to, who then have Xavi to pass it to, who then have 2 strikers. Playing it, like even the commentator said, and you guys saw it, and I know Xavi got slacked, but what was he meant to do? He never once got the ball. Players didn't want to pass to him. And then when Fulham attacked, it was like, it seemed that when Xavi was running to get the ball out of space, trying to get the ball, Fulham would just go to the other side. And then Archie Gray were like, where's? And then I don't know what Basuma does. I'm fully convinced he has voodoo magic or something. For, again, why no coaches have gone, yeah, he's not going to do any good. He does nothing. And so basically it's like, when you have Palhinha, who we've seen is a great tackler and break up things, why is he not at the base? Why is, you know, and that's why Spurs got open in the middle. I mean, they had 3 midfielders in the middle who were supposed to stop that, but Conor Gallagher had to go out wide. And then Colin Mawani, obviously he's got a hard on for him because he started him twice, and he was doing nothing. I mean, Bassi just ragged on him constantly. And even when Colin Mawani was trying to be aggressive and press, he gave fouls away. And you're like, right, So why is he playing? And it just felt that Morland's absolutely right. When I saw the push, I was like, yeah, they're not going to get that. It just, we talked about it. Radu Dragusin did exactly what Gabriel did. And the only conclusion I can think of is who was the one who pushed Radu? Jamira? Yeah. If he'd have scored, maybe. But I think because he didn't score and the ball went beyond him and then it was crossed in and it was a second phase of play, I think VAR went, it didn't come directly from that. Like if Jimenez has scored, then yes, maybe. But because it was a second phase of play, they felt that maybe the covering players could have still prevented it.
Okay,
but even then, you're still going, a foul is a foul. And if that had happened in the opposite end, I guarantee it would have probably been called a foul. And Spurs wouldn't have got it. So it's kind of like playing square pegs and round holes or something like that.
Yeah.
That's what Tudor's done. And as like you were right, you saw them training and running. And I actually wrote a comment when I saw the videos, like, what's the point of all this? Because the players don't do that on the pitch. So these players are running and Basuma's firing balls in perfectly. Get on the pitch and the reality just opens up to, no, we're not going to do that. But I do understand that it doesn't help if you're fighting for everything and not having low in confidence, when something you feel doesn't go with you, you just deflate, and it's very difficult to raise your standards up to that level. But even, the passing, where's the patterns of play? Like you guys have been saying, that's what it's just play a system, let these players play and be closer to each other.
Is that on Tudor then?
Yes, I believe it is. I think he's probably going to play a back three now. And he keeps saying it's not about system. It's about team playing and running for each other. Well, if that's the case, play a system that the players want manage and keep them close together and passing. What was Solanke playing? Marlon and Ash, you can tell me. It looked like he wanted to play Solanke as a number 10 or deep lane.
I think he was dealt a blow. And this is the bit I didn't realise until I found out today. I think basically Conor Gallagher wasn't meant to play.
Right.
He was meant to be Jed Spence on that right-hand side, apparently. And
right,
he got injured, the day before? So they'd been practicing with Jed Spence all week.
Right.
And then Conor Gallagher had to cut, because Conor Gallagher's not a right winger. And I know a lot of people saying, just put Tell out there. But I think you're right. We're just putting square pegs in round holes at the moment with players.
But do you remember the video that Spurs posted the day before of them doing the training? He had Gallagher right wing back and Gray left wing back. So it looked like he was getting ready to do it. Because Porro was almost like a right centre back in training, which was weird.
Show you the average positions there. To see
that's pretty much what it looked like.
Yeah, it's just bizarre. What is
right-sided, lopsided 4-4-2 kind of.
It's
Porro on the outside, but Archie Gray inverting quite a bit, number 14.
And Solanke is a number 10.
Yeah, Sankey number 10 is number 90, kept dropping in.
If you're going to play this way, you've got to get Porro further forward than that. That is just...
But that doesn't make sense because, you're absolutely right. But why is Solanke, who's far better than Colin Mawani, been asked to drop deep? Yeah. He should be up top. I look at that formation thing, Solanke should be next to Colin Mawani, Xavi behind him. It just have a pattern to play where they can just feed through the middle. If he doesn't want to play with wingers, that's fine. So I think Tudor is it's just, you can see the frustration in the players. They didn't know where they're meant to be, who was talking to each other.
So
I just look at how managers can all misprofile players.
It's bizarre.
Doing it. Frank did the same thing. Yeah. Tell on the bench is the only winger we actually have. And yet he can't buy a start.
So with that then, guys, is this fair then? What's going on? And I know Matthew's got a different opinion on it, but he says pressure's already mounting on Tudor to improve Tottenham's results. Richarlison's pained reaction says it all at full time. Whistle blew on Sunday. Tottenham's players know that they're in a relegation battle and it's weighing on their minds. But I read somewhere else, it was from the Telegraph, and they said how, his job's under threat and he has to win that Palace game. So do you not agree with that? Do you think he should be fired if he doesn't win that Palace game? Because as an interim, he has to obviously get results now. He can't wait and all of a sudden, it's going to work. You just got to give it time. We haven't got time. We've got 10. Was it 10 games left we got, or 9 games?
The thing is, there's no points.
9 games after Palace.
Yeah, there's no points.
Where do they go next?
Yeah,
Mason.
And Mason ain't got Kane here no more. So
will Mason get us relegated? No, real question, real rap. Would Mason get us relegated? If Mason come in now, could he get a response out of those players in the next 10 games or 9 games? Sorry, if you lose against Palace.
The problem I have with anyone at the moment coming in, and that's what worries me, even if you do sack Tudor, is that you've gone from Frank, who was clearly just like too nice, all about the data, all about the tactics, couldn't motivate the players to play a certain way. You then bring in Tudor, who's supposed to be a bit more of a hard nut and say it how it is, and is supposedly a motivator, a firefighter. And it just feels like to me the players have got too much power, and a lot of them aren't willing to be in the dogfight, because if they're going over the manager and saying to those at the top, which is apparently what some people are saying, they're saying that they don't believe in what he's trying to do, then it's like, well, who is good enough for these players to want to fight for survival? I think the problem is they all have it too easy, where they know that even if we do get relegated, they're fine. They're just going to go somewhere else.
George, I heard before he came that Xavi was a diva. I heard he was a proper diva, and he's fallen out with players before at Leipzig, let alone like PSG and PSV. At the end of the game, he kind of blanked the fans. He ignored them.
I was there. I saw it. It was unbelievable.
Yeah. His face was all push up. So
everyone was clapping him as well. And he didn't even look at us.
Yeah, mad. So Oren always talks about mentality. Does Xavi lack mentality? Is he up for a dogfight?
He's never been in this position before. So
he's never been. Though I do think that the frustration is overboiling under the players of constantly losing, of playing out of position, of not getting a rhythm, and I think it is affecting the players in that way. I don't think Xavi's taking it. It's not personal against the fans. He's just like, this is shit. Why am I left and I'm getting taken off? Because he knows as well. He's a number 10. He's not a winger. He's a number 10. So put me in a position where I can actually affect the game. And yeah, that's I don't know. Like he can walk off clapping, but it's not going to do anything.
Yeah, but Aaron, I think the more the case is, like you just said, we as fans saw the frustration on him. Okay, and considering what the fans and the players' relationship is like at the moment, and he was walking past, he literally is walking past the away fans, and for the away fans not to be like in this situation, considering where Spurs are, and they were clapping him, you just expect him to look, just a little look up and just go, or just say yeah, and then move on. That's all he had to do in that situation, because if that was Raju Jackson going past, I'm telling you now, they're not clapping him.
Yeah, no, I get that. It's just
he had a poor game, and the thing is, you said there was a bit, because I'm surprised Ash didn't come in, because Ash throughout the first 45 minutes kept complaining to me every time Xavi got on the ball. He didn't play it. He didn't play it. So he was on the ball, but he again just wasn't playing the right pass. So even when he got on it, he was holding it on for too long. And it wasn't like players weren't showing. He just wasn't releasing it in time.
Jeff Spence. Did anybody pick up on that comment Jeff Spence made a while ago when Xavi said something and Jeff Spence passed the ball quicker? Did anyone pick up on that? It was an Instagram post, and then Jeff Spence said, "Learn to pass the ball quicker." Don't know if you guys ever saw that.
Instagram, sorry, peeps.
Yeah. So that could be something as well, where his decision making is off. But hey,
I was going to ask because a lot of people said the game changed when Tel came on, and Oren's obviously said that we're not playing players in the right position. George too as well. Does anyone say that you drop Xavi if we're playing a 4-4-2 for Tel to give us more width?
Absolutely. If you're sticking with this formation, you have to. I think for me, and I tweeted about it as well. I think we need to actually just play players that are comfortable where they're willing to play, because at the end of the day, and I think Sousa made a big difference as well. And I've said it from the get-go. If playing Spence at left wing back or left back is a disaster, because as much as I love him defensively on that side of things, you instantly shackle us trying to go forward on that side, because he just simply cannot cross a ball in on that left-hand side. So it becomes so predictable. And I think even though Sousa's really young and he's unproven, I thought his cameos, against Fulham and against Man United have been positive because he's a young player with no fear. And funny enough, he's left-footed and can cross a ball in. And you saw him like overlapping Tell on that side. And I think it's the same thing goes for Tell as well. You've got someone who actually is a left winger playing like that left wing. And for me, it's more about the mentality of these younger players as well, playing in their natural positions. Tell received with his back to goal, surrounded by 3 Fulham players, turns them, drives towards the box and creates the goal. I haven't seen any of our other players do that when we're trying to shoehorn players in certain positions. Gallagher on the right mid is not receiving that ball on the touchline and then taking a man on and getting into the box. So what is the point in playing him there? It doesn't make any sense to me.
Just to caveat my own point, which I like to do, apparently Xavi was playing with a knock. I don't know if you lot heard that. For like for the last 3 games or something.
And he's been playing with a knock for the last month or so. It's been longer than that.
A lot of players playing, but even the goal. I mean, once again, you're relying. And I know, like, it's a 19-year-old kid. You know what I mean? Archie Gray, who makes that run from deep, sprints all the way to support Till. And no other player does that. And I'm saying, like, they're just ball watching. It's like, oh, okay, what are we meant to do? And it was Archie Gray who, not bigging him up, but I'm just saying, like, why is it in the last 3 games he's the only kid who's trying? And he started at left back, went to right back, then went to, then he finished the game.
I've been Archie Gray's biggest critic, right? And the one thing I can say to him, he is trying.
Yeah.
The problem I have with him is that it's that old saying, he's a jack of all trades, master of none. Because actually, when you look at the second goal yesterday, that's where he starts to fall down. I think he's the best he's played for us recently at right back, and I think he's more of his natural position. I don't think he's a midfielder. He's good on the ball, but when he's trying to be defensively minded, he just goes missing, and I think that's where he gets caught out a lot. But that's the problem that I have with him, is that at the moment everyone's saying put him in the position and let him learn. But every time we put him in midfield, we have suffered.
I don't know if that's true, because I think our best games have been at the start of the season when we had Bergvall and Gray as the pivot.
Yeah, so there's Archie Gray's actually he's going to mark that player. But that's the thing. You're right. You're actually, Marlon, you're kind of right about what you're saying. But to me, it's like Van de Ven is more experienced, and to go, Gray, I've got him. That's the biggest issue. When you don't have players talking, Archie Gray performed really well next to Ben Davies because Ben Davies was talking him through. Even Angie, they gave him instruction. Those experienced players should be saying, right, no, Archie, you go out wide. Look at that. There's 4 players around one person. It's like, and again, it's like, okay, we're just going to let you shoot. All right.
Archie Gray, go on, George. I want to hear your Archie Gray, because I don't agree with it.
No,
when it was Bergvall and Paulinho, and it was those as a 3, and then I think it was the beginning of the season. It was Bergvall.
Bergvall, Sarr, and Gray were in that first game against Burnley.
Against Burnley, as well. Yeah, against Burnley, they were, and Gray was our worst. And I remember saying that game, all right, and everyone was slating me for it. How many chances did Burnley have in that game? And if they were a better team, they would have finished them. And I said, what's going to come back and haunt us is that we gave them so much time from just outside the area, and Burnley kept shooting. And everyone was like, but we just won 3-0. What are you talking about? And then a few weeks later, we played Bournemouth and got done. But the exact same thing. But carry on.
No, I don't think he's a left back at all. I think that
he's definitely not a left back. And yesterday he was probably one of our best players, and that's saying something.
But I think what I'm more getting at right now is that even with Gray is that, like you say about putting the fight in, we need that in crunch time. And I think if he's putting more effort in than anyone else, you can't not start him. But that specific goal there that you're showing, I think that just shows how people just aren't committing to this man-to-man press that he's asking for, because you see Archie Gray is caught in 2 minds completely. It's like, does he follow Wilson into the middle, or does he hold his position because there's a massive gap left in behind? The problem is he ends up doing neither, caught in no man's land, and then Solanke doesn't follow Iwobi, and it just becomes too easy. And I don't think I'm not saying that Archie Gray's the next best thing since sliced bread. I just think we're constantly not putting him in any position consistently enough for him to get comfortable in any way. I do think he's better on the right-hand side of the pitch than he is, especially on this left.
Yeah. See the things you're showing there. That's why, Marlon, I thought it was a back three, because that was from the first 5 minutes of the game. I was like, you sure? That's what I was seeing. I was like, you sure it's on the back three?
You know what it is? Because I think the first half, like we were back four, so I'll show that at the beginning. Let's find it. Back four was
no, I understand, but what I'm saying is when I was watching it, it didn't look that way.
Yeah, but I think the second half, like the first half, was like a 4-4-2 kind of mid block, and then the second half we went to a man, and that's when we went man to man. That's when we were getting dragged out of all positions because they went long, went over us. Obviously, he's gone to Oscar Bob. Oscar Bob's held it up. You can see Iwobi there. Iwobi comes up, gets the touch. And then from there, it's curtains. You know, he feeds Smith Rowe in that position. Smith Rowe should bury it.
What the fuck?
What a save!
Well, yeah, great save. He should finish that. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, that's just one of many chances that you can see there. There's a back four there. I don't know if you can see that. But there we get exploited again. Sessegnon makes that run in between the fullback and centre back, and Smith Rowe kind of peels off with Jimenez running in behind. The ball goes into Sessegnon. Two centre backs get drawn to the ball, and then that ball could either get pulled back to Smith Rowe or pulled across the ball, face of the goal to Jimenez. But obviously, there's too much pace on it anyway. But yeah. Anyway, we've got another guest.
Let Matthew go. Matthew haven't said in a while.
Yes, Math. Anything you want to add to this?
Yeah, just
formation tactics.
Yeah, just the Archie Gray. I think that obviously the fan base is frustrated. I get it. You know, it's been a disaster of a season, and we lift fingers and we want answers. But I think the problem, it's been such a poor squad over the last seasons that players like Archie Gray and Bergvall have played more than they should have been. I think Declan Rice and West Ham, and when Declan Rice made his debut that season, those 2 seasons, he played with Mark Noble. Now, Mark Noble's no world beater. I mean, he was a experienced, steady Eddie Premier League player. So he meant us for those first couple of seasons, 17, 18. We've never had that established, you know, midfield, established players that tutor Bergvall and Archie Gray. They've been thrown in at the deep end. You know, the team's been totally dishevelled, and they've showed their lack of experience. Now, I understand people say Archie Gray costs 40 million or 30 million, or depending who you believe how much he cost, and that's not his fault. I'm more asking questions of our senior players. I'm asking Suma. You're a experienced when we signed him from Brighton. It just hasn't happened. He just hasn't consistently performed for Spurs. So Archie Gray obviously he's not ready to play week in, week out in the Premier League. But just think about Archie Gray, who's playing left back for the last 2 seasons. Who was back when we didn't have Adogi? So we're Archie Gray's a victim of just a really poor recruitment, and so is Bergvall. You know, they shouldn't have been playing the games that they're playing. If they're established, well-run football club and they get 30 minutes from there, they look excited. But they're having to play 20, 30 games every season, and their lack of experience and know-how has been obvious to see. So I just personally think the bigger picture is we've had so many bad men, and it's resulted in where we are. And You know, is Archie Gray the finished article? No. No. But my questions would be, where were the signings alongside Archie Gray, alongside Bergvall?
Well,
and you can sprinkle them in.
It was meant to be Paulinho and Gallagher, mentality warriors. Do you know what I mean? That's what a lot of people were saying. That was the narrative.
If I speak, I'm in trouble.
We need players with the right attitude. But if they don't have fundamentals to trap a ball and pass the ball forward, and don't have mirrors.
I can't lie, that Paulinho one yesterday when he slide tackled when no one else was there just to clear the ball was mental.
That's the thing though. That's what pressure does and breaks a team up and become individual, where they're all trying to fight. They lose like focus of what they're trying to do, and they're just seeing the ball and going, right, get rid of it. So, and again, there's no. So,
I mean, sorry to cut you. Sorry to interrupt.
No, that's all right.
I was going to say, just to add, I think we need press-resistant players. And I think Conor Gallagher and Paulinho are neither of those, in my opinion.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. What Spurs need is those players. But what Spurs have isn't those players. So what the manager and the coaches have to do is work with what the players they have. And that's what I'm saying. If they don't have,
I agree.
I'm not saying that Paulinho and Conor Gallagher, if we know Conor Gallagher is going to press her, then that's fine. If we know that Paulinho is going to, but give the Paulinho the ball and have someone close to him that he can lay it off to. And then maybe have Conor Gallagher be box to box. Conor Gallagher is good enough to get the ball and progress it past. That's what I'm saying. If you have that diamond in the middle and have like Xavi as a pinpoint, that means that if Paulinho gets pressed, you can bypass that knowing that you'll have Xavi or Colin Mawani or Solanke the header for Xavi to get the ball. So it gives you options. So yes, those are the type of players that Spurs need. But again, even in the summer transfer window, who or what type of players Spurs need might not be available, because I don't think there's a lot of players who can beat the press as they were before.
George, we had no players that can do.
I'm not saying no players. I'm saying like
Langer, right? Basically, you're saying Langer was right, because that's what Langer basically said. There was no one in the market.
I haven't seen any. I haven't seen any who can beat
last week. And now you're agreeing with him.
I think there's. To be honest, I personally think there's plenty out there. It's just we're almost a bit too stubborn of the level that we want, but not realizing the situation that we're in right now. So, I mean, there's plenty of that, even in the Serie A. When you look at Kone, even Hayden Hackney at Middlesbrough. Locatelli's been one of the best, one of the best in Europe this year, I think.
Where they play for?
But he was available. He was available 2 seasons ago. Yeah. I thought he was a typical Paratici. I thought the connections with Juventus, that was slam dunk. That was a slam dunk. I don't understand what happened with that.
Juve.
He won't leave Juve now. Apparently, he's like a boyhood Juve fan. And
the thing is, though, and this is something me and Marlon have agreed on for a while, is that yes, in Italian leagues that works, but what if he comes over here and it doesn't? The Premiership's a different beast. And I'm not saying, yes, I should have said that when I say the caliber of players is like, it's easy to look at European players, but we know that the European leagues are slower. I mean, the Italian league itself is not exactly almighty. They're not even in the Champions League. You know, Abibo Glenn beat, Inter Milan and stuff. So yes, in the Italian league, that might work because Bentancur is meant to be that player, but we've seen that he's got slower and slower. And so therefore, when it comes to the Premiership, I can think of very few players who actually, even Rodorino, I know he's getting on a bit, but even he's not a ball presser beat. He's got to get the ball and make passes, but he's not a Dembele. He used to get the ball, beat a couple, and start something. I don't think that exists in the Premiership anymore. I could be wrong. There could be a player who can do that, but I haven't seen it in a long while.
But that's why we're not even like buying complementary pairs of players. Like we're not. Say you're playing with a double pivot, you've not got 2 midfielders there that are able to complement each other. Like for example, someone like Adam Wharton is someone we should have been targeting for a long time, and realistically should have coughed up the money for, because he's someone that can pass the ball from deep, and then you put someone stronger alongside him and work that way. But our squad planning in general has just been so bad that we have 6 midfielders that all do the same job. I personally think that Bergvall, Gray, Sarr, Gallagher, Bentancur, those are 5 of almost the exact same players. They're all 8s, they're all box to box, they all run around, and that's about it. And I think we're just lacking in just different abilities in our team.
It sounds for next season. This is the question, because like to shoot on, but like if Spurs, I think Spurs will stay up. And I was talking about this in work, and I was thinking, like, if Spurs stay up, is it going to be? We're going to be talking about this again next season, because if Van de Ven leaves, if Romero wants to go, they'll be even weaker. You know what I mean? So it's like, and players won't want to come to Spurs next year, not in the Champions League, not in the Europa Cup or nothing. So it's just a case of like, what? I don't see any difference next year either.
Yeah, the problem at that point is you have to like actually do smarter signings that people don't like, and then
exactly,
and then we end up in more trouble.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it's the box office. We're gonna get straight to it. Are we staying in the league?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You can hear me. So I apologise for the sound. My mic has completely done me at the moment. Like Spurs at the moment. Easy answer. No, we're not. We're not staying up because it's an easy why. Because as far as I'm concerned, we're not getting 40 points. And for me, that should be the ultimate. More than 40 points just to keep you up. And I don't really care. So I should be looking at the camera. I don't really care whether West Ham or Nottingham Forest are bad. And to be honest with you, they're not bad because they're better than us at the moment. Form is telling you that right now. You know what I mean? Is it 13 or 14 games you haven't won? We haven't won a game yet?
November the 28th.
It's a Crystal Palace game. Ironically, we got on Thursday. So, no. So, for me, no, we're not. And we deserve to go down. I stick by what I said on my channel, on my video. We deserve to go down. I'm tired of us getting away with it now. And I know the implications. People will tell me that the finances, but as far as I'm concerned, well, it's not my problem, like I said before, because I'm not doing the job of Johan Lang and Vinay. They should know this already. They should have acted sooner if they knew the implications of this. But they didn't, because they're not the people that should be the right people in charge. And if we do stay up, I don't see this changing. Like the last how many years since Poch? I don't see this changing. And this is not a Poch argument here. This is not a Poch argument here. Because as far as I'm concerned, if he comes in with this setup, it ain't working again. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think you're right what you're saying, though. I think that what we're forgetting now, and I've never been one to shy away from saying this, I think this is just showing that Enoch. I think Lang, Vinay, they're just the face. I think, again, they're facing what Levy had to face. I'm not saying that Levy was a saint, but I just think they probably went to Enoch and said, listen, this is not working. We got to change it. And Enoch might have turned around and was like, no, let's stick with Frank. We don't want it. We've just sacked Levy. We've just sacked Angie. Frank has been the guy. Vinny as well.
Apparently it was the other way around.
Okay, fair enough.
Blanche and Vinay that wanted to keep him.
Wanted to keep him? Yeah. Well, I heard reports that they didn't.
No, it was them two that wanted to keep him. They got told after the Newcastle game he has to go.
Right.
And they didn't want to do it. Because even, I think it was Lange's statement, he come out and said that it was they got told, but in a roundabout way.
So why did Enoch allow Lang and Vinay to?
Well, this is interesting now because we've been linked to different directors of football now, haven't we? I don't know if you've seen that.
Yeah.
But we've been linked to Dougie Freeman from Crystal Palace. And I forgot the other person. It's escaped my mind. Who else?
I just read it as well. So
he's the Chelsea one.
Chelsea one, yeah.
Oh yeah, ex-Chelsea guy. Yeah, we've also been linked to that.
It's with a W. I can't remember how to pronounce it.
We love a Chelsea ex. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Chelsea come and say what's up.
So could Enoch get rid of Vinay?
I don't think they will, because how I looked at it is Vinay's theirs. Lange, I was very surprised he didn't go because he was employed by Levy.
Right.
So I don't think they get rid of Vinay. but I think they kind of have. I think they've seen.
Wait. Say that again, Marlon. What?
So,
Levy hired Vinay?
No, Lange. He hired Lange.
Oh, right. Oh, sorry. Okay.
So and Vinay came in because of the new kids on the block. So I think what they've seen a weakness in Vinay, which they should have. They could have watched the Amazon documentary of Arsenal and seen there was always going to be a weakness with Vinay. Okay, it wasn't hard to see. So I think they will keep Vinay because he needs to get him out of trouble and with his statements and stuff, because we'll fell for it. Like no matter what happened, we'll. You know when he came out with the statement after the protest a couple of days before it. It's like we're trying to do this, we're trying to do that, and we'll fall for it.
100 million injection.
I've heard it all before.
I think they will try and replace Lange because Lange is getting the brunt of it from us fans.
Yeah,
but
full guy.
But Ash probably pointed me in the right direction a couple of weeks ago. Is actually this is not on Lange. What? Because if you look at his remit at Villa and compared to his remit at Spurs, the profile players he was buying for Villa is totally different to the profile players he's buying at Spurs. So
he signed good players at
Villa.
And he got demoted at Villa. And to be fair, they were right to demote him because it was his manager choices what was the problem. Because if you're getting Dean Smith and Steven Gerrard to work the players he had, then no. But if you actually then look at what Unai's done with his players, they're all the ones that are now performing.
The difference is, though, Marlon, right? This is the difference. Again, I just need to say this specifically. I do not like Parategy. I didn't like Parategy, but for this argument of the ultimate director of football, he is the sort of guy, not the guy because he didn't get Tottenham's identity, no, but he's the sort of director of football we need, right? That type of director of football. So the ultimate saying he could set up the whole backroom staff, set up the structure, did everything in terms of that. But what you need is a Paul Mitchell, a Ralph Rangnick. But that's Alex, what you need.
Alex, you're saying that, but these problems were still here with Fabio at the helm. You've said
but that's why I'm saying.
So it doesn't work for Fabio either. He's just as culpable as Lange.
But that's why I'm saying I didn't want him. If you listen to what I'm saying that you need a proper football director that gets the identity of Tottenham. But then it comes back to the whole thing about identity, right? It's got to go strip back again. Like this is something that we're going to have to do. This is where I will start looking at things to see whether there is a plan or not. Because at the moment, if we're going to do this again next season, we'll be the same place next 2 years.
Right? If we go down to the Championship, and this is the bit that I really don't get why people say, if we go down to the Championship, you're asking a bunch of people that have never worked in that league before, to go and then try and get us out of it when they can't even do a good job in the Premier League. It's not going to work, and it's not going to be that easy. Like people Marlon, think because we're a big club that we can just it's not going to happen like that. Because if they're like everyone has said, they haven't built a team. So how the hell are they going to build a team in the Championship too?
But Marlon, I hear you there, but at the moment, right, they're not making decisions that are right now, are they? Right?
They're not making.
This is on them at the moment. This is the reason why we're in this position at the moment, because they've left people after Daniel Levy left that are number twos that don't know how to deal with the situation.
Okay, but hold on. Daniel Levy only left in September. Okay, so they've only literally had one window. So September was how many months ago? And people are expecting this massive change.
Okay, but it doesn't work like that. I'm not expecting a massive change, Joe.
But you just said Daniel Levy.
Yeah, but what I am expecting to take on the reins to make sure we're not in this position, right? But what's clear at the moment? What is clear at the moment?
The only thing that they've done wrong, and the big thing that they've really done wrong was keep Frank after the Arsenal game. That was the biggest thing, because Levy, that was the only thing Levy would have done different. But let's go back to the January window, okay? Because I've said this before. This January window, everyone was like, "Oh my God, here we go again." Hold on, let's go get Levy back. We needed players last January for Ange. What did Levy do then?
Yeah, I agree with you, and he's like I said, like we said before, Levy was a problem, but he wasn't the problem.
No, he was part of the problem. No, but this is how I put it, This is like me going, all right, I'm in a bad relationship and I'm in a bad job, okay, and my life's terrible. I need to change things. I sit there, and the only thing I change is my relationship, but my job's still bad. They come together. You need to change both to make life better, and this is the problem that I have with everyone right now. Levy coming back will do because he built this. And this is the problem. He only left in September, and people are carrying on like things are going to dramatically change. But if we look at it, most of this would have happened with Levy here or not.
Yeah,
because
but
the team were bad from the beginning. The team were bad in September.
But the problem was, Marlon, when the owners wanted to get rid of Levy, they didn't look at Levy, what Levy did over the years, what his roles were, right? And then thought about it and thought, okay, before we let go of Levy, let's try and find out what his roles were and delegate those roles to actual proper people that can actually do the job properly. When they got rid of Levy, they realised the day after they let go of Levy, we've got to actually make the promises that we actually go ahead of what the promises of what we had to do.
But this is where
did we? But that was the problem.
Yeah, but this shows you also the problem with Levy, because everyone always says, he should have been concentrating what was on the pitch. But actually, now that he's gone and Vinay and all them that have come in, and actually there's so many problems behind the scenes because Levy wasn't concentrating on the pitch. There were so many roles and things in the background that he had his pies in and that he was doing that he shouldn't have been doing.
That's the point I'm making, though, Marlon. That's the point I'm making.
Yeah, but this is the issue.
You just made my point for me.
No, I haven't, because you're sitting there saying that Levy and all that's good.
No, because but you just made my point for me. I've said to you, if they really plan this really well.
Yeah, but how long do you expect that to? How long did you expect that change to happen? Because we're only 6-7 months into Levy's gone, and expecting him to change a whole business.
Well, we're in trouble now, Marlon, and you're saying that we don't want to get relegated, and it's going to be bad for us at the moment. So unfortunately, that process had to be quick.
But do you know what the problem is?
Because at the moment, that process is very slow at the moment. We're doing it in business time rather than football time, and unfortunately, teams are going ahead of us. As you see,
the ownership the current ownership do not understand football, right?
Exactly.
So they've hired Vinay to effectively replace Levy.
Yep.
On the hopes that he can just replicate what he did at Arsenal, because they clearly don't have a clue about the football themselves. So he's got good credentials, let's bring him in. And the moment you knew he wasn't going to be the right guy for us was the moment he was, to be honest, a bit of a weakling about the director of football situation, because Langer was already there.
Yep.
And he wasn't willing to get rid of him. But Paratici was already a consultant for us for 2 years.
Yep.
Consultant, obviously, because officially he can't actually have a role, but was promised a role when he came back. And he didn't want to put the bollocks in and say, I'm getting rid of both of you and starting fresh. Instead, he decided to do this dual director of football thing, which was never going to work because they are the two complete opposite people. You've got Langer, who's supposedly all in on data, focuses on kids, doesn't know how to get established players in. And Paratici is all just about connections, specifically Syria, Italy, usually, or maybe the agents that he knows. So I think the problem is that it's a mess from the top down, where the top don't know anything about football. So they're hiring people to try and say, like, well, clearly you're a football person. Vinay, you've done this in football, without actually knowing what's going on, and effectively have created a huge mess when they have got the wrong setup from the get-go.
I personally think... Sorry, go on, Oren. Go on.
No, I was saying Matthew hasn't said anything for a while. Just been observing and listening. I want to get his perspective.
Yeah, go on, Matt. Go on. Sorry. If you're still there.
I agree with I agree with a lot of what's been said. Look, I think in some bad decisions, bad recruitment in the boardroom, the coaching staff department. That's another discussion. Solanke had a knock, which took 6-7 months. There's been so many examples of just decisions at Tottenham. So I'm not sure. I'd agree about rid of Lang and Paratici. Just started completely again. Give it Dougie Friedman. I would have just started completely again with what's the identity of Tottenham? We don't go after the best players. We don't go after the most expensive players. So what are we doing? Are we going on the youth? Marky, what is Tottenham's plan? What's the strategy? What are we trying to do? Are we young, energized squad? What I just don't know what direction. Yeah. I don't know what the plan is.
So, in my opinion,
certainly don't know.
So in my opinion, I think what happened was under Levy's tutelage, he employed Langer to do the whole youth rebuilding. He wanted to go back to that model where under Poch, we kind of got the young players in and we built them up. And then I think the idea is that he was going to sell them for profit. You know, do it that way. Like, because Tottenham, to me, are a bit of a builder club as opposed to a Chelsea who buy it ready now. Do you understand? But I think Lang was saying in one of the interviews that he wants to buy young players, but the cream of the crop, if that makes sense, the best of young players, because we're not going to compete against Man City and Arsenal and Man United for top players because they won't come. They will just go to Man United. You saw what happened with Semenyo. And then, obviously, we finished 17th last season, and I think we've been stuck between a few philosophies. So we've been stuck through Ange, who's a win-now manager. Well, he says he's a win-now manager, but accompanied with young, energetic players, like you were just saying. So those don't really align. Do you get it? So you've got a manager that wants to win it all, but then you're giving him young players that aren't quite ready, that need the senior players. They recognize that. They were like, oh, we made a mistake. So now we need to bring in senior players for the next window. Obviously, they got rid of Ange, and the players under Ange, who was bought specifically for Ange, they weren't happy. So new manager comes in, bit more pragmatic, bit more safe, isn't as motivating as Ange. He's come in, they're still in love with their ex, if that makes sense. And then he's saying, oh, they're bringing the win now players for a new manager. But those players were meant to be for Ange, if that makes sense. So you've got, again, two different styles, two different philosophies coming in for two different type of managers. Then now, obviously, Frank hasn't got that needle, that kind of personality for big players, for World Cup winners, for season internationals. Does that make sense? So then you've got Tudor now that's come in, and now he's slightly different again. He's more old school with it. And then you've got a mixture of, are we like Ange being brave, dares to do, or are we more like a Frank? And you're seeing that with the players, like even Tudor going man to man in the second half and doing a mid block in the first half. Even he's giving out mixed signals, if that makes sense. And then you put that with different personalities all into melting pot, and here we are. In my opinion, this is what I think. This is what's going on. And we're going to probably see that again because the ball came out again and they said, oh, we've made another mistake. We realized that we're not paying the wages to attract the top players, but that boat, we missed it 2 or 3 seasons ago when we had the chance, or even last season when we had the chance. We just won the cup. It was like our last stint, our last window. We had Champions League football. We just won a cup. We only finished once, 17th, innit? So we could have just said, yeah, that was a mishap. We were going for the cup, so we dismissed the league. Now we don't have that excuse. Now we're in a situation where we are actually in a relegation battle, and a lot of the players are divas because they're like, bro, I'm not fighting for relegation side. I'm going Liverpool next season. Man United want me. Real Madrid are talking about me. Atletico, they speak Spanish. Do you know what I'm saying? And all my Argentinian brethren are there already. Do you know what I'm saying? So we're in a kind of like molten mix where your captains and your leaders don't want to be here. And then you've got a few of the youngsters thinking, bro, I don't even the youngsters like Bergval's getting linked away. Aston Villa, I see.
Liverpool.
The media is just going through Spurs.
Right. and then we come to the fans now. Some fans are in this position where they think, boom, all right, we're a top 8 club. Like they've given up hope on the top 4 and the top 6. They said, listen, all right, we're 8th in it. We deserve to be this league. But then you've got other fans that are saying, you know what? This is so bad. If we don't get relegated, what's going to happen is these problems are going to be swept under the carpet. Yeah. So if we stay in this league, it's going to be worse because we're going to just go round and round like I don't know what it is. We're going to be going round in circles, basically. So if we are to get relegated, they're saying at least we have a chance to properly rebuild, rejuvenate. But then there's the other side of the fans think, well, if we get relegated, we're not coming back up.
No, I think we're in trouble if we go down.
At the same time, you get relegated, people think we're going to come straight back up. Not necessarily. It doesn't work like that. You know, there's a possibility you get relegated and you stay there. Do you know what I'm saying?
Villa were down a while.
If that happens, just delete the club, bro. I just prefer that. You know what I'm saying? Just delete it, bro. Like,
can I be honest with you though?
Go on.
Can I be honest with you though? I've not liked it since Pochettino. So for me, it makes no difference at the moment. I'm not even watching matches. I've been switched off since last season, to be honest with you. So it makes no difference to me. And I kind of laugh at fans that laugh at me and say to me, "Oh, why do you feel like this?" You know, I can't help what I feel at the moment. It's like, for me, even if we stay up, like I said, I don't think anything changes. I really don't. Because there's no plan. And the thing is, though, when we're linked to people like Dougie Freeman and the Chelsea guy, I look at them and think, okay, so what is the plan with them? Because they came into an organisation, they were working for clubs that had a plan and what their philosophy was and what was the end goal.
Not Palace.
I don't know what the end goal is at the moment.
Palace fans will disagree with you on that, mate.
I do think.
Well, no, but I'm just saying
philosophy.
Yeah, that's the thing. What is it? Because that's where I'm at the moment for me. Like, you know, people are now having. I'm hearing rumours now that Tudor might be on the chopping block at the moment. You know what I mean? And for me, that for me says to me, we're done. Right? Not to mention, I'm looking at Tudor. That guy's got one more game, and he's going to explode. I can see it right now. It's going to be a contest.
Yeah, it's going to be another contest. On that though, do you not think we can beat Palace or will play? So not think. Do you? Will we beat Palace? Is that question I'm asking.
The Qua not being suspended helps us to get a draw.
No. Wait, hold on. PGMO are getting involved, and apparently,
really?
They're looking at it, so he might get his suspension rescinded, and he might.
They should rescind it. To be honest with you,
they should. It was never rescinded. Yeah, you're right. Ridiculous. You're right.
So
he's our best defender, though, right now, isn't it?
So listen, he might be available, so they might have their squad together. And Brennan Johnson looks very hungry. You know what I'm saying?
If I'm being honest,
the same Brennan Johnson ain't scored a goal, yeah.
He got
an assist.
Listen, the doctor's around the corner, cuz you know what happens. He starts describing those meds, and
you saw what Gyökeres as they did to us, man. We're going to make Johnson look like Messi when he comes here.
Hey, do you know what's really funny, right? Because everyone talks about Gyökeres and how he only scores against relegation fodder, and yes, he scores against us. So that really puts us in the coffin.
But by the way, and I've said this to Deji as well, because we had the argument on the catch-up. We got to the catch-up, yeah. He was right about Arsenal not playing well. We played absolutely crap, right? It was Arsenal didn't play that well either, to be honest with you. Only Rice and Zubimendi. When you actually take your Tottenham head off, and like the criticism of Tottenham, when you actually look at Arsenal, not actually playing very well, actually. So to be honest with you,
it's really weird though, because George said something earlier which I found quite when he said about the midfield too. Zubimendi and Rice don't actually work together as a two, but they just seem to be functioning. If you look at the way they play,
see that's it right there. It's like you have players who can make the right decisions and make the right movement. And the thing is with Spurs buying players is that they become very robotic. It's I will just stand here. The manager's told me to do it. I'm not going to make any decision by myself because the manager hasn't told me to do it. It's hide behind the manager. And that's what you're seeing. It's like even Mickey van de Ven, and you would have seen it against Fulham, he was trying to get forward, trying to do one of his runs, holding off players, and he was going against the will. But like the players, when Spurs buy players, I think these players are happy to. Again, when Till came on, it was because he just went, I'm just going to go for it. I'm just going to go for it. I'm not going to listen to them, you know. So when you have the likes of Declan Rice and Arsenal, those players know when to like, okay, yes, the boss told me to stand here, but I see space there, so I'm going to move in that position. I'm going to trust my teammate to get the ball. And the one thing, because I was texting Marlon, the one thing the last message you said was the players don't trust each other. And that's what I saw. I saw that on the pitch. They didn't trust each other. It was like, I'll pass the ball and I'll just wait. I won't run. I won't like watching football.
A question on Tell though, guys. If Tell starts, do you not trust him to turn up? Because there's one thing coming off the bench and creating havoc. But to start a game, do you think he can do it like
till turns up? The issue is he's very self-centered, and that's his problem.
That I remember.
Yeah, and that's why I think he doesn't get played. And even the attitude problems wasn't the fact that he might huff; he just wanted to do everything on his own. And I think if he can just play as a team, and even the past Archie Gray, that would work. But it's not just Till. It's all those players have to want to play for each other. And Tudor kept saying there's big problems, but the problems are there. The players aren't running for each other. They're not passing to each other. Again, they're just, I give you the ball and I'll just stand on my ground. And that's it.
So who are those players again? Who's the players that are selfish? Till and who else?
No, it's not, I won't say selfish. I think Till, it's not selfish as in I'm greedy. It's I like that attitude, that ego. I want to do everything on my own. Like Camacho.
He's trying to prove himself.
Yeah, he's trying to always prove.
Too.
Yeah, and it's too much. And he's just need to settle down and like make the passes and make the runs. But
part of being young though, isn't he? He's only 19 years old. I think
still, but even to have that ego.
21, no?
Yeah, 21. But like, it's kind of like
he was 19. No, I could be wrong.
Yeah, because when Fulham played, that's all they did.
20 turns 21 this year.
Yeah, so that when Fulham played, and again, you guys, Marlon and Ash, you could testify to this. When they whipped Spurs, it was because Sessegnon would pass the ball, and instead of just standing there, he would actually make a run forward. Given, I haven't seen that at Spurs at all. There's no 1-2s, flick around the corners. And when Spurs do it, you're like, oh shit, they can do it. But then they don't. And that's the biggest concern. These players don't seem to trust each other or even know each other on the pitch. It's hit and run. Even the goal that they scored, it was kind of Archie Gray making that run, yes, but he put the ball in a space where a Spurs player just happened to be. I don't think he was actually aiming for Richarlison, and Richarlison just took up that position. But I don't see any passing and movement. And even when Spurs scored, I didn't see them score a second goal.
So how many games did we win then, Oren? With that being said, then.
Fuck. Well, Spurs have to play West. The Spurs have to play West Ham, Burnley.
No. West Ham. We've played West
Wolves.
Ham.
Wolves. We've got to play away.
We've got Wolves,
Leeds, Forest, Brighton,
Palace.
I think 4 games. 4 games, and hopefully get a couple of draws.
You reckon we'll win 4 games? Yeah, that's what you're saying on record.
Fuck.
I think we'll struggle with 2.
I think we'll struggle with
2 games. Fuck, I don't know.
Is 2 games enough to keep us up, guys? This is what I'm trying to get at.
2 home wins all season in the Premier League.
It's only enough if West Ham and Forest continue to lose as well.
Yeah, which I think they will.
I think the standard's a lot lower. I know you were saying earlier about the 40-point thing, but I don't think the way this season's gone, everyone's lost to each other so much that I don't think the threshold's as high. But it's completely dependent on what West Ham and Forest do.
West Ham, everyone said that West Ham, out of all the games that got left, have probably got the harder running.
I personally think Forest have the hardest. I think they both got difficult runs.
Yeah. Where we've played most of those teams already.
Yeah.
I know our record against the teams we played against. I think we've lost all of them already.
And all our home. I saw a graphic earlier, and it was all of our remaining games. The only one we won last season was Everton.
We got Everton in that run as well.
Yeah, Everton's the last game.
I think the Champions League game will be a big game for to see where the head's at.
Crystal Palace, then we go to Atletico, right?
No, what I mean is like, if he puts
Liverpool, Crystal Palace, Liverpool, then Atletico, right?
No, Atletico's first because we don't have a game.
So that's what I'm saying. If Spurs go out, get beaten, hammered, I think it'll be like, forget the Champions League. We're just going to focus on the Premier League.
Question. This is a question though. Does Tudor, in this scenario, because everyone's that's quite because it came up earlier. In this scenario, because I think we've got, is it Forest after Atletico?
Liverpool.
Is it Liverpool or after? There's something between. If there comes a point where he has to pick the Champions League or the Premier League game, what does Tudor do in this situation?
Premier League, man.
He has to go Premier League. His job. He's come in for for survival. That is his only job.
But if there's a chance if there's a chance though for him, because he's come in and he doesn't have to. Let's be honest. Personally, for him, if he was to go to let's say he was to get to the Champions League final and Spurs got relegated, that's not on him. Everyone's gonna look at him and go, I got to the Champions League final.
I don't think he makes it that far. If he loses like the first 4 Spurs games, even if he beats Atletico Madrid, I think he's gone because we need to survive.
Yeah. And maybe the question is, what do the players want to do? That's the
players. Well,
they'll get more joy in Champions League games.
They'll get more, they've enjoyed playing.
Like we look better in Champions League because I think Premier League teams are just so. I think they're so much higher than some European teams now, just because of the intensity. That I think we're actually probably going to get more joy against Atletico Madrid than we will against Forest.
Here's a collective.
Tyson, actually, I'm not saying to you yesterday when we was there, I said I wouldn't be surprised if, as long as we could avoid Newcastle and Arsenal, if we could get Barcelona and Bodo Glimt, we'll probably play better against those teams than we would if we got Newcastle and then Arsenal.
100%.
Yeah, physicality. Yeah,
I'll take any European team over a Premier League team right now.
It's all
like, and to think I'd rather Barcelona than to play Newcastle if we were to get through that. That's madness.
Mental.
Barcelona, you're right though, because like I watching the European and it's just not the same. The Premiership is who was it? Connor from Newcastle. Who's the guy from Newcastle? He said the Premiership. Gordon, he said it perfectly. It's like the Premiership is just you just run.
Well,
it's boring.
The issue you've got is that every single Premier League side in Europe this season is through to like the last where they are, and the fact we've got 6 teams still left in the Champions League. Again, but the problem happened last year in the Champions League. If it wasn't for Paris Saint-Germain, I said this, the English teams would have dominated the other side of that competition. There's no way Inter will get to the final. But it's because everyone got put in one side and that Paris had to play Liverpool, Arsenal, and Man City at one point. And that's the reason why.
I think Atletico beat us. I don't know about you guys. I personally,
I'm glad that we got Atletico because I'm tired of getting these in Champions League. No, I'm glad.
We've
had an easy Champions League. We've not even had the Champions League, in my opinion. I've been saying that for a long time now. I mean, we haven't had anybody proper at home, and it was time. It was time to have an actual proper team. I actually might consider actually going to see the game because, to be honest with you, that's the last time I'm going to see an actual Champions League
different.
team.
I'm so different. I don't care.
Man.
I don't care if I play Bodo. I don't care if I play Lille. I don't care. Give me all the bums. Just get me to the semis, to the finals. I'll take the easiest route. See how Arsenal are doing it? But they've got Bodo, Glimt, Leverkusen. You think they care?
Bro, they got out to Bodo.
Remember the final, you know what I'm saying?
They got out to
Bodo. We had that luxury. We had that luxury in the Europa League, so we got that then. So
what luxury?
We had that luxury then, like have easy teams in the Europa League.
No, we didn't. What Bodo doing this season? Did Bodo knock out the finalists from last year?
Okay, if we're going to have this argument, Marlon, what did we do last season against Leicester City? What did we do against Leicester City last season? How many points did Leicester City take? How many points did Leicester City take off us last season?
What's that got to do with Europe? I'm talking about.
I'm just saying. If you're arguing about Bodo Glimt, we're going to have this argument about Bodo Glimt. We're
not talking about
how many points did Leicester City take us?
We're not talking about league. We're talking about Europe. You're saying Europe was an easy run, but hold on. Inter Milan got to the final last year, but yet Bodo Glimt were knocking them out. It weren't that easy.
Yeah, fair enough. We had Leicester City taking 4 points off us last season.
Bro,
we don't want to mention that, don't you?
Yeah, but bro, there's been many Premier League
in the
games where they've
Championship this season.
But there's been many teams that have taken off points off us. West Ham, look, Wolves dicked us at home. They're going to finish bottom.
Exactly. So that's the point. So let's not make ourselves out to be like this.
What's that got to do with the easy run in the Europa League you just said? Because you just conflated 2 different points.
No, because I feel that this whole argument with this Bodo Glimt thing is just because it's just so weird.
Yeah, but what's Europe got to do with Leicester? Answer the question. Yeah,
because I'm saying that if you're going to have this argument about Bodo Glimt. Right?
No. You said Europe. Okay, we're not talking about
Europe.
Yeah. So what's Leicester and Europe got to do with the conversation?
Because Leicester City last season.
Okay, what's that got to do with Europe?
Whipping Boys last season.
Yeah, but okay,
and we only had 4. We only taken 4 points. They're taking 4 points.
Did they finish above us though?
No, but the point is,
conversation done. Box office conversation done. Did they finish above us? No.
No. But the point is, don't stop me there. My point is though, right, when you have the argument about Bodo Glimt in Europe, right, doing well, yeah, fair enough, well done, they've done well, right, and we had a draw and we won against them last season. My argument is though, right? We in the English league, right? We had Leicester City, and they're taking 4 points off us. That's what my argument is, right? Which was the worst team last season.
We finished above them. Yeah, we finished above them. We didn't get relegated. And your question was, you said, but our easy run in the Europa League. So what's Leicester got to do with our Europa League run?
No, it's nothing to do. I'm just making the argument about our league form. That's why I was changing it. That's why I was changing it.
And that's why I said to you, yeah, this is why I said you can use that argument. It was easy, but hold on, the same teams that are easy, most of them, all of them that we played from the quarterfinals ended up in the Champions League this year. Did they not? And then one of them is knocking out the same teams. Everyone said, "Oh my God, you lot got Bodo in the semi," and Bodo are knocking out big Champions League teams here. And they're knocking out the finalists. So maybe it weren't as easy as everyone thought, and maybe we actually did well in the Europa League.
2-0 on their turf. Oh, yeah, we're looking.
We could disagree. We can disagree, Marlon. As far as I'm concerned, because like I said, because I think I have an argument there that we were lucky to do what we did in the league. So there's two arguments here. We focused on
get relegated.
The thing is,
we had enough points.
38 points.
The thing is, what gets
overshadowed? No.
Yes. The thing is, what a lot of people, I think it takes a shine off what Spurs did, because it's not because Spurs won, just because Spurs won, and you have to remember that Spurs won the Europa League with playing backup, most of it, playing players, Archie Gray, Bergville, the same players who aren't good enough were the same players who were carrying Spurs. You know, these young players, Roddy Dragusin came in, Danzu came in. And so that's what makes it, you know, he was using 11 players. Angie had worse injuries. And basically everyone was saying, if United had won it, oh, that was an amazing accomplishment. Brilliant accomplishment. They're back. They've got the Champions League. Spurs won it. Oh, they beat a rubbish United team. They still got the job done. And I think a lot of people didn't think that Spurs was going to get the job done.
No one thought Spurs were going to get.
No, we thought we were going to get the job done. It's now going back onto this whole Ange thing, and again,
no.
I've made my point about Ange. I'm sorry.
No, I'm not mentioning
you mentioned Ange. Not one of us.
They said
no, but I'm just making it clear just before we get into this whole thing.
The thing is,
this so we just make this clear, because I know where it's going, and I just don't want to go into the Ange thing.
Bring him back. Bring him back.
It's accepting. It's accepting what Spurs did, and to diminish. I mean, everyone, like, that was a thing, to win a cup, and people are like, no, looking like it was only the Europa League Cup. Seriously,
17 years. I know.
Yeah, you know, it's and how Spurs won that cup against Bobo Glen. Like, even, I mean, this Bobo Glen has beaten Man City comfortably. It wasn't and Spurs drew against them again. And the teams that they're beating aren't teams that are weakened with injuries. They're full team squads. Spurs, I don't think Spurs have played a full footy-foot squad for 2 years. So, yes, I understand the frustration, but that's the thing we all have to, like, the thing is, I certainly looked at that Bible here. Like, the injuries, they're not 1 week. I mean, where the hell's Kudus? Is he even coming back? I haven't even seen him training. I haven't seen him on the grass. Is he waiting for the weather to heat up? Where's he? Like, how long is he injured? Is Destiny Udogie out for the rest of the season? Is Bergville out for the rest of the season? It's a question of, like, why does it seem that Spurs players get injuries, but they get a long... Well, it's a kickoff from last year.
Do you think, though, Oren, seriously, big question. Do you think if we got our players back, we get up the table, we start to win more games?
Yeah, of course. Madison, it's about rotation. You know, Madison, Kuleveski. But even getting those players back, even if those players would get fit tomorrow, they'll still take time to bed in. But the question is, it's like, I think that what Frank had to deal with is the carry-on from the massive injury all season, the previous season, the massive injury list, and the players' bodies going overboard and breaking down.
Because I don't necessarily think it's true, right? Because I remember under Ange, that was a narrative as well. When Madison comes back,
never came back.
Kulu back. Remember, like that season.
Yeah, but when Madison came back, it did work. He just got injured again. then Kula was also playing with an injury.
Yeah, but I just feel like that was that narrative that when we get our players back, the players came back and then it didn't work.
But that's what I'm saying. They never really came back.
Happen again.
They never really came back. Van de Ven came back, was injured. Romero came back, he was injured again, and they were used sparingly. What people were saying is if they were fully fit for a couple of weeks, which Angie never got, or Frank never got. Like, there's never, as soon as, say, Solanke got fit, Richarlison got injured. Then he's like, right, I've got Udogie back. He's not injured. So again, you're having players get injured for not like a week or so, for long. Bergville finally, Wilson Odegaard, we slated him. He was finally getting better. He's out for the rest of the season. Even Bentancur, who I didn't appreciate or like, he's injured for the rest of the season. So it's kind of like why I think that this season is an aftermath of last season, where you had these players who pushed, even Solanke. I think if Solanke had started the season, I don't think this would have been the position because you had a vocal striker. But he's been injured. And now you're thinking, like, every time Spurs play, you're thinking, what player is going to be injured for the rest of the season? Spence is injured. How long is he out for now? you know what I mean? It's like, it's just bizarre.
I hear it. I'm just not sure because it depends on who's in the dugout for me personally. And I do think that, like, as we've seen before, if Tudor gets another a game where he doesn't win, doesn't get the points, he could be out, man. And even if the players do come back, there's nothing to say that the next person's to get a tune out of them. I don't know, man. What do you guys think, George and Matt?
I think the problem is when you're missing someone like Maddison and you don't have a single creator in your team across the pitch, I think any team struggles. I don't really know any top team that doesn't have someone that can dictate play. And I think we brought in Xavi Simons kind of, in a way, was supposed to supplement that, but he's really different to Maddison. He's not going to spray a long ball from left, right, and center. He's someone that works in tight spaces, and you need combination play. And I think when in my personal opinion, when I think Xavi's looked his best is when he's been in tight quarters next to Odegaard and Udogie on that left hand side, and they could create these triangles. Obviously, both of them are out. Can't do that. We're not using him well enough. But again, we then had to over rely on Porro because he was the only one left in the team that could cross a ball, pass a ball, make a progressive pass. And I think missing someone like Maddison, I think, has been huge for us. And I think we look a terrible team without someone like that. And we saw that beforehand when we never replaced Eriksen. And it took, what was it, 2-3 years before we actually got Maddison in the end as that replacement. I think in that period,
Kane was doing the work.
Kane was doing the work, exactly. And like even then, Kane could do it and pick up from someone else. And I think for the last year or so, without Maddison and not having someone of that ilk that can create for us in any instance, I think any team would look terrible without it. And I think we haven't really helped the squad out by not bringing in that sort of player. And it doesn't necessarily mean he has to be a number 10, but like whether it is, like I was saying before, like an Adam Wharton-esque who does it from a deeper position, or like maybe you do get another 10, or maybe someone does it from the wings. I think Kudus did that quite a bit at the start of the season from that right wing, because he was what, our highest assister after about 3 months.
Yeah.
And then as soon as he got injured, and we have no one that can create anything. And then when you don't have, how are you supposed to get the ball to goal scorers if that's not the case? Do you know what I mean? So,
and Odegaard took over, and he got.
Exactly.
It's like every player you don't want injured has been injured.
Yeah, honestly, I'm looking at the team we have there, like right now that we have available to us, and I don't see, apart from maybe now Porro, you could argue, but as a fucking right back, like we don't have an actual anyone that can dictate play in that part of the pitch to create chances for us. Yeah. Kulusevski had the highest key passes of any player in the Premier League the 2 seasons he played. That isn't like from when he got injured 2 seasons backwards. He had like the highest key passes of anyone. Like we're just desperately missing a player that can create from nothing.
Porro's been underwhelming for me this season, especially. Like
but I'm just saying he's the only one that we've.
I agree. He's our progressive passer. He's our most progressive passer in the whole squad. If you look at the metrics, the stats, they tell you that he passes the ball forward the most times. But sometimes it's to his own detriment, and I think he was overplayed by Frank because
definitely
he was over reliant on him. And sometimes you need to be fresh. You need to sit on the bench, see the game from a different angle. And he's a victim of his own success. And I think that's where you've seen the decline in Porro. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's linked to another club in the summer. And because he did have the argument with the fans for quite a few of these players. They had arguments with the fans. So
listen, supposedly City are looking for a right back. That's all.
I wouldn't be surprised.
It might seem crazy because people don't rate Porro that highly, but I would not be surprised if City go for him. To be honest,
I wouldn't be surprised. But again, we talk about managers playing players in the right position, tweaking tactically. We haven't really had that type of coach. Do you know what I'm saying? To kind of, I don't want to go in that whole conversations. The coaches, we need a proper coach and all that because we've been through that rhetoric. And look where we are now.
Do you think Poch will be that guy? Do you think he can do it? Can he bring back the?
Well, this is it because Poch tactically, he's not really. He's more like yin and yang, come see, come saw. He's that type of manager. Do you know what I mean? He's more on like vibes. He's not really a tactical master, huh?
He'll get us out of the championship.
You know what? Yeah, Spurs go down. Yeah. Enoch would have to get fucking.
I thought it was a disaster. I thought it was a disaster if we go to the championship. By the way, Marlon. So
no, but he said the reality.
No, the Spurs aren't going to
go. His reality is that it looks like we're going. But
Poch is ill enough to actually come to us in the championship. He just weirdly loves the club. Like he'll come no matter what.
I stick by what I say. He's a mug if he comes to this setup now.
If they get rid of Lang? If they get rid of Lang, you won't take
it. I don't think it's just about getting rid of Lang.
You get Dougie Freeman in the board, like what?
Yeah, but again, I asked the question.
He loves us, man. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, but Marlon, I still ask the question. What is the plan? Because as soon as it goes Pete Tong with Igor Pochettino, watch half his fan base turn on him, and then he's gone.
Doesn't he arguably have better resources available to him now than when he first joined, though?
I don't agree.
Out there,
we
spend way more than we ever did back then.
Yeah, the thing is though, what Poch won't have is players who want to become good and become the best. He was very fortunate with Harry Kane, Son Heung-min, Eriksen, Dele Alli. They all came again with each other and go, let's be a family. Let's get in that pitch. Let's play for this club.
That's not even.
I'd argue he said that though because Sonny first season wanted to leave. He was terrible.
The thing I think he doesn't have this time round, he won't have the big drop off where every big team dropped off that season.
Yeah,
he won't have that because right now they're all rotating. But that season. Yeah, Liverpool dropped off. Man United dropped
off. And he doesn't have Paul Mitchell as well.
Yeah.
And also with the amount of games.
Was it McKenzie? Sorry, go
on. Maybe actually I can't
remember. Because at the time there wasn't so many games as well. And with the way what style is he going to bring? Is he going to bring that pressing, aggressive style and then players start getting injured like front center again?
That's what he's going to do.
That's what he's going to do. Chelsea.
So but if Chelsea finished 6th and he had a much bigger squad at Chelsea.
Yeah, Chelsea. They had
to be fair, he had a lot of problems to sort out at Chelsea, and actually, when I actually think Maresca actually, after what Poch had done, because Poch then set the foundations, because Chelsea were in literally.
They actually finished the season quite strong.
I think it was 2 defeats in how long, and one of them was against Arsenal.
And Palmer said he played his best because of Poch.
Yeah.
He's a good coach, but he's not. But the thing I think people forget is that he did a lot of miracles out of that team. He got Kane. Kane was gone. By the way, right? So he's by accident. Like Gareth Bale was an accident as well, right? Dele Alli had his was on loan and then came in and he did what he did. Eriksen was up and down last season. Dembele was more bothered about fighting with Adebayor when he was actually a left midfielder and he made him a centre midfielder, right? Okay. Walker and Rose were uninspiring. Let's be honest here. They were up and down. They were definitely up and down.
Well, they went on loan loads.
Exactly. So that team, he managed to put it all together after his first season, let's be honest here, where he was nearly got sacked and I didn't believe in him. I wanted the ball. Right, and it was halfway through the second season when I started to believe. You know what I mean? So, I think people absolutely forget what he went through as well in terms of going to play at Wembley for 2 seasons. Play at Wembley for 2 seasons, right? People forget that. You know what I mean? So
you want Poch back, yeah?
No, I don't think Poch is going to be.
Well,
That's
you're
in favour of him.
He made a great an argument.
No,
he doesn't want to.
No. Because the thing is, though, like I said,
box office is finished if Poch comes back as a persona. It's gone.
What? No. It's not the finish of that. It's me actually thinking more logically here. What is the plan when Poch comes back? Because at the end of the day, when it goes wrong, what happens next? That's why I'm saying the director of football is more important right now for me, and the plan and the identity is more important for me
more time.
than
anything
else.
It gets more time.
I think it's
well. You give it 6 months, and we're in the same position that we're in at the moment.
Here's the thing, though.
It'd be the same thing.
I think.
Got a point, though. I think.
Yeah, this all falls on Enoch. If they bring Poch back, they're obviously doing it to get the fans all cheering and all. Mm-hmm. They go out and buy a £60 million player, and the fans go, "Oh, that's great! They're going to back Poch," and then we're back to the same old January when he hasn't been backed. Or they don't get Poch in, sell the club, and
dream.
Yeah. Or they do what they say they were going to do: bring a manager in, break the wage structure, and start spending big. It doesn't matter what manager comes in. It's Enoch has to decide what they want to do this summer. Are they going to break the wages? Are they going to spend 80 million on getting a couple of players in? Even go to Van de Ven and Romero, or Van de Ven especially, and says, right, we want to keep you. We're going to make you the highest paid player. We're going to build a team around you.
Matt, what do you reckon? Sorry to cut you, George. What do you reckon? Because I haven't heard Matt for a bit. And I love that in the background, that Spurs. You have to send me the link for that little glow up too. What you got?
I think there's a romance with Poch, you know, idea, and I think it was a perfect storm. You know, we'd had a bit of a bag with AVB and Tim Sherwood, and Poch came in when we were looking for that Martin Yole little bit vibe, and he came in and he was good in front of the camera. I was very clever with the young players. I mean, he was getting the tune out of Bentaleb and Ryan Mason. You know, he was very clever with some of the young players. So I think there's that mystery. Can he take a team that was kind of drifting? Don't forget, we'd sold Gareth Bale. Tottenham were drifting, and he came in, and even though he had that topsy-turvy first season, there was still a few glimpses of what Tottenham could. So there is the can Poch do it again? And it can go a couple of ways, because let's be honest, we've had a 7th where we're going to finish this season. If we stay up and he does take the job, would the fans be 8th, 10th finish next season? I know that's not good enough. So it's not like Tottenham are finishing 5th or 6th and Poch comes in and got to better that. We've been a runaway in the wrong direction for the last 2 seasons. So maybe, I mean, reports are true, and Alan Brazil saying that Pochettino yet. So I don't know if that's true. So maybe we're going to go left field and bring in a De Zerbi in the summer. Who knows? I can understand the lure for Poch, because that period, he ticked so many boxes. We played good football. Home and away, I don't know about you, but home and away, I was always looking forward to watching them play. And the togetherness for most of the 5 years, there was a togetherness. The fan base seemed happy, and the majority. I don't know if we are this broken now that no matter what happens, if Poch loses 2 games on, certain section of the fan base will go. Personally, split. The romantic part of me wants him to come back, but I'm worried. Has the rot set in that much that it's unfixable? We are broken. That's my other half of me thinking Pep, Klopp, Jose's had a go at it. They haven't fixed it. Why should Poch fix it? So I'm not sure if I've answered the question, but if I had, I'd say yes for Poch, for sure. Get him back.
Do you know what's mad?
Look, this is a blank.
With Poch, he's also at the World Cup. So if he comes, he won't come till late into the actual window, into the actual pre-season. So that could also be a problem.
Depends though. If they get knocked out, it could be back 1st of July, which is pretty normal.
Do you think Poch butcher the last week butcher this then?
Window anyway? So.
Yeah, true.
Do you think Poch head is already turned for? Like I was thinking about this. What if Spurs had went to Poch after South Frank and go, right, we'll give you all the money that you want? Could they have tempted him to come straight away? Because after and if Poch is going in to the USA and his mind is already turned to come back to Spurs, does the USA team want him? And I mean, how bad is it going to be? I'm not saying it's going to happen.
So, Aaron,
I know it's too late, but I'm just thinking
it's too political for the USA and the World Cup and what's going on. He could never leave before.
I think, but if the USA do badly, would it be because he didn't care on Poch? You know what I mean? He's a fine line.
I think he's already got his sights set on Spurs.
Yeah,
he always has.
Yeah.
I think he does.
A side note though, Richarlison said if America continue fighting in Iran, he said that he won't play in the USA.
Who cares about what Charlie? He's not even in the Brazilian squad. I'm sure the Brazilian coach he's like, oh, please, Charlie, we really need you. We need you. No, I don't think he gives a damn.
He knows he's not getting
it. What the hell is he?
He's realised if Spurs go down, he ain't getting him. So he's like,
I'm making a stand. I'm not going.
It's like he's not even making the World Cup.
To be fair, though, on that note, just before I just said last point before we go, is Richarlison the man, the key man to all of this? Is he the man to get us out of this relegation battle? Because he's the only person that's actually done it before and done it properly.
It's a good argument for it, definitely, for sure. I just think my worry is, and we've seen this with Richarlison ever since we got him, and it's not just him, it's with so many other players. They're all just inconsistent. We mentioned like Basuma earlier, it's just the inconsistency. And I think the weird thing with Richarlison, he will pop up with a goal here and there, but I've seen so many times where one game he's either saved us or he's done well. Like when we came on, he looked good against Fulham. If he starts the next game, he could look a complete shambles. Like he doesn't have that consistency in him. But I do hear what you're saying. I think having someone that's been in that position before, I'd much rather have someone that has that fight in them than not, basically. But I wouldn't expect him to all of a sudden become R9. Do you know what I mean?
Probably will.
He probably will.
He wants to get Brazil in this.
Yeah.
Probably will.
Matt, how you with Richie? Do you think he's the man that could get us out of this trouble like he's done with Everton and Watford? And
I think Richie is such a frustrating footballer because he does fundamentals poorly. You know, his first touch is so bad. You know, he's. If you're looking for a number, Richarlison's not your guy. You can't play the ball up to him and trust him to keep it. Midfield can't make the runs off Richarlison because he's like a licorice all sorts. You don't know what's coming back the other way. At least with Solanke, you can tell he's been coached. He's come through the academy at Chelsea. You can see, even when it's not working, you can see what he's trying to do. But Richarlison's got that street, you know, he's got that street mentality that when you have to roll your sleeves up and it gets a bit ugly and it gets a bit messy, is the scrap and get you a corner from nowhere or get you a free kick from nowhere. So you're blind, the one-eyed man is king, and that's where we are at the moment, you know? So I would involve him, whether it's on the left-hand side as a left forward, I would have Richarlison to play for an hour. I would be very mindful that he's a 2 games away from probably another hamstring.
Yeah.
But I would keep him some 11 for and just basically say, be a menace. Just upset people, get around people, drive people. It might get the fans off the seats, and hopefully he might drag the players with him. So I would start with Charlison. I would start with Charlison. Charlison wide left. I'd go Solanke down the middle, and I would play Tal on the right hand side. That's what I would do. And say to Charlison, give me an hour.
Interesting.
Wow.
Oren?
Richarlison?
Yeah. Is he the man to get us out of this trouble? Because
Richarlison is stealing a wage for Spurs since he's been there. No, he's not.
Score, by the way.
That's how bad Spurs are. That's
this is why I'm saying.
I get you. I just think that.
How many goals has he got?
8 now, innit?
Oh, that is terrible. Exactly. 8 goals.
I don't know if that's truth. Someone said 7 last week. So I'm just
I think
it's 8.
I think that was his 7.
8 Premier League goals. 8 Premier League goals.
I think
terrible.
I think Richarlison, in all set aside, I think Richarlison, yes, is the man to get aside. But I think it's who's he partner up with. I think him and Solanke might do damage if it's just those two. Don't play him out wide. He's not going to do anything out wide, really. He's a poacher. That's what he is. He's a poacher. He likes to be at the end of things when he can be. So I think
him, though? Who's giving him the goal? Like, who's going to be?
That's the thing. It's like you have to play.
Richie. He just do it when he was at Everton. When he got him out of trouble, he just used to do it himself.
Yeah, he's
not one of them that needs creating. He literally just go through people like a bulldozer.
Yeah, and I think it's just that way. And I guess it's like Xavi has to. It's all. I just think that Xavi has to play behind the number 10 and just go for it. None of this fucking.
I feel like something's happening in that dressing room.
What?
I don't know if they're all happy.
No, they're not. Those players aren't happy with each other.
I want to see that lineup. I want to see if a couple players got dropped off the back of it.
Those players aren't. I've said this for ages. Those players aren't happy with each other. They're frustrated with each other. You can tell.
Yeah, that didn't ever work.
Yeah, they just do not want to. It's something. Whatever in that dressing room, they think.
Fernando's was like, what's next?
Yeah, it was just like, I think some of those players just aren't clicking with each other. They just don't. There's enough family togetherness in that changing room. I think that's what helped with Son. They've been there. He kept everyone as a family.
Yeah, Son kept it smiley, innit?
Captain Son that no one wanted as captain.
Yeah, but Romero's like, you're shit, get at the club. You're shit. Because every time Romero says that people were like, fans were cheering Romero and going, oh, he's amazing because he's calling to the club. But when Romero says they haven't recruited well, the players are looking at him like
teammates.
yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? And that's what he was saying. You haven't recruited well.
You're getting an Instagram post.
Yeah. And it's like, all right, we're your teammates.
Yeah, but it's worse when his teammates are liking it, and you know which ones.
It's Richarlison, which is me.
And Boro was the other one.
I think Spence was one as well.
It's like, you're like,
he's out.
It doesn't motivate you as a player to play for your captain when he's pretty much saying, you're shit, you're crap, you're not on my level. Yeah, so I think in that dressing room, it's been for a while. It's like when Dali Ali and Eric Dyer, they were best friends, and then they had that argument, and they just went, that's what happened.
I just looked at our top goal scorers in the Premier League. It makes me so sad. Oh, my God.
I'm so sorry I brought that up.
Tell was 4th.
Jeez.
Okay. Am I allowed to say something about Richarlison, that below average Emil Heskey? Can I speak about him right now? Right. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna be as honest as I can. This is how bad our team is. Richarlison's making us look good at the moment. That's how good. That's how bad it is at the moment.
It's like with
right? And that's not good. That's not good. Yeah, honestly, right? Because I he has to play. I don't think he keeps us up. No, I don't. Right? Because all he does is cause the chaos. That's all he does. But it's effective because that's why he's scoring the goals. That's it. But the fact that we are now looking at Richarlison as this guy that we have to bring on to cause chaos, right? That's how ridiculous this is getting right now, because we've got no creativity, like George says. You know what I mean? So
hold on,
it just.
Why is it all right when
I'm sorry.
but we're not?
I'm sorry. You know my feelings on Tell. You know my feelings on Tell. Not good enough, right? I'm not having all the bear, because I said it again, like I said to you before, and everybody knows how I feel. But I don't care. I really don't care. Players. He didn't create enough.
What was my question? Huh? What was my question? Will Richarlison be able to get us out of trouble? Why are you talking about Odebear for? Odebear is injured. He ain't coming back.
Okay. But I'm just saying, to add to your
stick to the answer. We're almost in the finish here.
Say that.
I'm trying to release George and Matt. Come on.
And I just that's my feelings at the moment. You know what I mean? I'm sorry. It's absolutely ridiculous that we are having a situation with that we got to rely on Richarlison. Yeah, you know what I mean. And our attack is absolutely bang average. Right? We have to rely on bloody mistakes and set pieces. It's ridiculous. That's why we're relegation candidates, in my opinion. That's all I've got to say. Sorry.
You don't have to say sorry.
Yeah.
Is that it?
No, you said to me
no. As a whole, where's Marlon gone? Flip me. Oh, he's still there. He's gone invisible.
So I'll say my piece. George, have you said your piece already? Yeah.
We've all said
Richarlison, I just think is better coming off the bench. I'm not sure if he's better than starting. But at the same time, just to finish on this point, I don't know if Spurs have got the mentality anymore to go 1-0 up and hold it, or 2-1 up and see a game out. I think that it could be an issue in itself. So, and then we don't have the ability to come back when we're 2-1 down. So it's just so many issues. Richarlison is, I don't know if he's enough. I think we need, like we said, there's those centre backs, they need to do things and help us out in those moments. We saw that earlier in the season, but yeah, man, it's looking very dark. I'll be honest with you, man. But let's end the show. Marlon's gone, and I want to just thank. He's frozen. I want to big up to all of my panelists right here. First of all, big up to Oren. Thanks for coming on as always. George, what have you got coming up? Let us know.
I mean, I'm busy with work at the moment, so it's tough actually getting videos out. But yeah, I mean, to be honest, just still don't know why, going home and away. So there'll probably be some sort of video for Atletico Madrid away next week. But yeah, I just appreciate having me on. Finally get to.
Have you got a video out already that people need to check out?
No, I haven't posted since when Tudor first came in, which is close.
I hear it still.
But there will definitely be one later this week. We've got a big video that I'm editing for work, so time's been taken up with that. But yeah, I appreciate it, man.
And our other debutant, which was Matt, big up. Thanks for coming on. Any final words before you go? And I think he's frozen too. Or is it just me?
Oh, it's gone.
I think he's frozen, yeah.
All right, cool. Box office. Talk to me, man.
What have you got out? Just...
No. What have you got out? What's your final?
I hope there's some more videos out soon, and hope for the best, the worst, and bang average. Because honestly, I just need to do that at the moment. Honestly, yeah. So the top 5 will come soon as well.
Is he back now?
For
having me on. Apologies for the internet tonight.
That's lagging heavily.
I was like, right, is it me? I thought I was lagging.
I'll admit, I thought it was me because my internet just went. Box office was talking, and my internet went, nah, none of this.
Look, I'm not being funny. Why is it everybody has to blame the box office? Yeah, what is it going on here? What's going on here? Like,
see, basically,
you know what I mean?
How it is box office. You ask you a question, and you make it 10 questions. You don't stick to the
I know, but I was just adding to the thing, innit?
You go off on your. It's like, let's walk there, and box office is walking in a massive forest. You're like, why are you mentioning that player? That's why you don't stick to the topic.
Got a lot to say, man.
He has, but yeah.
Oh, where did you finish? Sorry, I missed it all. Sorry.
Yeah. Don't know where we're going.
Ash has got a show Wednesday. Make sure you tune in. Rival show. If you haven't checked as well, then we had a monthly show on Friday, which me, Manny, and Haz did. We're doing that monthly. Make sure you tune into that. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment as always. And also big up to Steve Reynolds for the super chat earlier.
Cool.
Make sure you subscribe to George. Make sure you follow everyone else on X. Make sure. And I'm going to say this, make sure you subscribe to Box Office too. I know I like to wind him up, but he's our guy. He's our guy. Ash, any last words?
No, man. Love for the love. Big up the chat as always. And make sure you are hitting that like button. It helps us to get seen. Algorithm things, That's it.
Spurs are winning the Champions League. Let's
go.
Oh,
yeah.
Let's go.
Big up everyone in the chat because you've been amazing. Again, this audience is always brilliant as per usual.